Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the Australian map in the map reading class. So here, as usual, first let us discuss the surrounding regions of Australia. Here in the western part, it is Indian Ocean, and in the eastern part, it is Pacific Ocean, and in the southern part, it is Southern Ocean. Beyond the 60-degree south latitude, it is Southern Ocean. Okay. And then some marginal seas are there. Here it is Great Australian Bight in the southern part. Great Australian Bight. Okay. And then here it is Timor Sea in the northwestern part. Timor Sea, and beyond here it is Indonesian islands. And here it is Gulf of Carpentaria in this region, Gulf of Carpentaria here, and here Arafura Sea, in this part, Timor Sea, Arafura Sea, and in the northeastern part of Australia, here Coral Sea, and it is Tasmanian Island, it is New Zealand Island, here Tasman Sea, and it is Tasman Island, and it is New Zealand Island. The two islands are okay. And here there is a Gulf, the Gulf of Spencer. This region, Gulf of Spencer. Okay, so this is Gulf of Carpentaria. Okay. The Timor Sea, Arafura Sea, and the north of Arafura, near the Indonesian Panda Sea is located. Okay, so Timor Sea, Arafura Sea, Coral Sea, Tasman Sea in the clockwise direction. You should remember. Okay, and the ocean is Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Southern Ocean. That's all. Then, tropic of the latitudinal extension of Australia is from the 10-degree south. This peninsula near the Gulf of Carpentaria. This is Cape York Peninsula. Here it is Cape York Peninsula. So this Cape York Peninsula begins from the 10-degree south latitude. Okay. So beyond it is Indonesian island. So from the 10-degree south latitude to up to here 40-degree, the Australian part extends. Okay, 40-degree south. And the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree, which passes through this part, slightly nearer to the middle part, just north of the middle part of Australia. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree north. Tropic of Capricorn passes through. Okay, so like Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle part of India. So like Tropic of Capricorn passes through the middle part of Australia. Okay, so this part is tropical Australia, and here it is subtropical and temperate Australia. This Tasman, those regions. Okay. Now let us come to the physical features in the land of Australia. So the major mountain is in this side, it is Great Dividing Range. It extends in the entire eastern part of Australia. Great Dividing Range. Okay. Great Dividing Range. And then two mountains in the middle part of Australia here located. It is one is Musgrave Range, and McDonald Range. Okay, Musgrave Range and McDonald Range. Okay, and then here it is Hammersley Range. Okay, Hammersley Range here, and here Stirling Range. Stirling Range, and nearer to the Gulf of Spencer, here Flinders Range, Flinders, Flinders Range. Okay, so these are all. And the important plateau here, the Kimberley Plateau is located here. The Kimberley Plateau is one important plateau rich in mineral resources, and frequently it is in the news. The Kimberley Plateau region in this part. Okay, and then here this part is called as a tableland. Okay, the Barkley tableland here. So these are the important major mountain ranges and plateau region. Great Dividing Range is the most important one. Great Dividing Range, and then here Hammersley Range, Musgrave McDonald Range, Kimberley Plateau, and Barkley Tableland, Stirling and Flinders Range. Okay, so these are all. And then in the physical feature, two major rivers in Australia, so it will be in the news frequently due to the occurrence of flood. Here, the Murray and Darling River. Okay, Murray and Darling River are major rivers in this part. Okay. Physically, actually, the eastern part of Australia gets high rainfall, and the rainfall decreases as we move away from east to west. The most parts of the western part are desert region in Australia. Okay, here the desert in these regions, the major desert here, the deserts are Sandy Desert, Great Sandy Desert, and Victoria Desert. Victoria Desert and Great Australian Desert. Desert regions. The almost this spot from this spot, it is desert region in Australia. Most parts of the Australia is covered by desert. Okay. And then one important lake here between the McDonald and Musgrave range is Lake Eyre. Lake Eyre. And in the desert region, Lake Disappointment. Lake Disappointment. Okay. And most of the names of the physical features and relief features, the rivers, mountain ranges, and the names of the many cities have the names of European, actually, particularly after the colonization of the British people. Okay, most of the places have been named after them. Okay, then here one range is the Darling Range is here in the southwestern part near the Perth city. Okay, so these are all the important features in the land of Australia. Mountains, plateaus, lake, deserts, those are. Okay, now, okay. So Australia spreads over the tropical and temperate region. The northern part is in the tropics and the southern part is in the temperate part. Okay, now, then the actually, if you see in the map, it has been given as Oceania. The Australia and the islands of the Pacific Ocean are collectively called as Oceania. Here, the many islands are located in this spot in the Pacific region. The islands are classified as three. Polynesia, I do write inside this. Okay, Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. Okay. So actually, these were named after this. Polynesia is islands of large area, many islands. That is Polynesia. Micronesia contains many small islands, thousands of many small islands. So that is, it is named as Micronesia. Melanesia is the Southeast Asian countries and Australian original people. Their skin complex. They are black in color. That's why these islands are named as Melanesian island. Okay, done. So those islands are here. I do explain it separately. Okay. And then one important features in Australia, most often we study about this, the eastern coast of Australia up to here, the subtropical region. So this region is the Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral barrier reef in the world. Great Barrier Reef, the coral reef. It extends from the 10° south to up to 30° south in this region, the eastern part here. Okay, Great Barrier Reef, largest coral reef in the world. Okay. And then, so actually, you may know the history of Australia. Up the first Dutch explorer, one he went to Australia in 1606 after the British explorer Cook, Captain Cook, he arrived to Australia on 1770. Okay. So he recommended for the settlement in Australia. Um, After the North American Revolution, British lost many colonies in North America, and then the Captain Cook he recommended the suitable places for the settlement in the Australian region, particularly nearer to the Sydney city. And then the British they concentrated in Australia and they sent the fleet ships to Australia in 1783. And then they established their colonies in the eastern part first and then gradually into the entire region. Okay. And at that time, the original people of Australia were in lakhs in population. And now the original people of Australia, it is just 3.8 percentage of the total population in Australia. Okay. Now, so here, the Tasman Sea, here the strait is Bass Strait between main Australian island and the Tasman Sea is Bass Strait. Okay, and here between the Papua New Guinea island here and between the Gulf of in this Cape York Peninsula, it is Torres Strait. Okay. The many of the explorer they arrived initially to the Torres Strait, the Gulf of Carpentaria, and then entered into Australia. A British explorer, he came to the Sydney here. Okay. The Torres Strait, Bass Strait, the New Zealand Islands, these two islands are separated by Cook Strait, named after the Captain Cook, the British explorer, Captain Cook, Cook Strait. Okay. So these three straits are important straits, Bass Strait, Cook Strait, Torres Strait. Okay, done. Then the political divisions of Australia, it is divided into the provinces. The north and then the west and south are named after the directions. Here, the northern territory, it is a province, and southern territory. Okay, so this is a province, and Western Australia, Western Territory. Okay, here. Okay, and then here the Northern Territory in the eastern part, the territory is province is Queensland. Okay, Queensland Territory, and then New South Wales province, New South Wales, and then Victoria. Then here Tasmania. Okay, so these are the provinces in Australia. Here, this is with the direction west, here North and Southern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania. Okay, so these are the territories, and the important cities in Australia are we should know at least here the capital, it is Canberra. Okay. Canberra. During the British colonial period, they have shifted the capital to Sydney, Melbourne, and Canberra frequently. Sydney and Melbourne up to 1930, they had shifted both. Then most of the people emphasized to have capital as Sydney, and most of the people emphasized to have the Melbourne. Finally, they rejected both and they selected the middle city, Canberra, as the capital. Actually, Canberra is the traditional place. It is a marketplace. The original people used to gather monthly or weekly in that place. The Canberra, the word derived from the conference. Okay. So the original people of Australia, they used to gather at this place. They had the tradition. Okay. So it is a ancient traditional place, city. So finally, Canberra was chosen as a capital of Australia here. Melbourne is located in the south. Sydney is located in the north of Canberra. Okay. And Perth city is located in the southwestern part. Perth city. Okay, so these are the major cities in Australia. Most of the cricket matches are held in these places. Okay, and it is New Zealand. Okay, done. Then I said the islands in the Pacific Ocean are classified into Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesian region. Uh, Polynesia has many countries, island countries, and Melanesia has many, and Micronesia also. Okay, so here Polynesia, which includes the New Zealand island also, okay, from New Zealand to Hawaii, it extends. Okay, Polynesia island up to Hawaii, it extends. Okay, and Melanesia is here in this part, Melanesia, the Papua New Guinea island, and the eastern part of Papua New Guinea island, the Solomon Island, here, Vanuatu, okay, Vanuatu, Fiji country, okay, Solomon Islands, so, or in the, those are in the Melanesian region. Okay. Vanuatu also, it is in the current affairs that Vanuatu president recently, he said that we are going to cancel the passport of Lalit Modi. Okay, so that was in the news last week. Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, here, these are all. And in the, here, in this part, here in the Micronesian, Bismarck Island, Bismarck Island, Kiribati Island, here, Kiribati Island, Marshall Islands. So those are located here. Okay. And then, okay. Okay. Then other importance. So those are the island countries. Done. Okay. Then you should know the climatic features and vegetation pattern of Australia. And as usual, if we are thorough with the climatic chart of World Climatic Classification, then we can simply assume the climatic pattern of Australia. If we know the latitudinal extension of Australia, Australia extends from 10 degrees south to 40 degrees south here. So in this part, in the here it is 10 degree south, so it has the tropical climate. So here the trade wind is onshore in the eastern part of Australia here. So these regions will have the monsoon type climate. Okay, this region, and here in the central part it will have savanna type. Okay, and almost the western part of desert type here. Okay, and the Perth city, the southwestern Australia, we know the southwestern part of the temperate continent will have the Mediterranean type climate. So here it is the Mediterranean type climate, and it has the dry summer and wet winter. Okay, Mediterranean type here, and then here the steppe type grasslands. So those are called as downs in Australia. Okay, downs. Prairie in North America, Pampas in Argentina, South America, Highveld in South Africa, and downs in Australia, and steppe in Central Asia. Okay, so the temperate grasslands. Okay, and then these regions get good rainfall in the eastern part of Australia, and here this Tasman. So these regions will have the British type climate. Okay, and here the China type and monsoon type will be. So the entire eastern part will have moderate to high amount of rainfall. Okay, and as we move away from the east, here east to west, the rainfall gradually decreases. Okay, and most of the regions are arid and semi-arid regions in Australia. Okay, so thus you can guess the vegetation pattern. So here it has the monsoonal vegetation pattern and the mixed vegetation pattern. Okay, so mixed vegetation and monsoon deciduous pattern. Okay, vegetation pattern. Here grassland, tropical grassland. Here temperate grassland. Here Mediterranean vegetation. Here xerophytes, desert. Okay, so that's the features of Australia. That's all. And Australia, India relationships are in the news, particularly the Quad countries. Australia is one of the members. The India, Australia, Japan, USA are the members of Quad. Yeah, quadrilateral. Okay. Okay. And many of the Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian countries are in the news for the climate change issues. And many of the islands are the atoll islands. So those islands are in the danger of the submergence under the sea due to the rise of sea level, okay, due to the impact of global warming and sea level rise. Okay. Okay, so that's all the features of Australia. So just revise the places and revise the current affairs. Okay, the Quad, the island issues, and the MATE scheme between India and Australian University. Okay, the the mobility of the talented early professionals. Okay, the MATE scheme. Okay, those you revise. Okay. So that's all the Australia over the features of Australia. Okay. So if you have any doubt and if you need any other concepts in geography, please post in the comment box. Okay. Thank you all.